Alright, what's going on, folks? So, if you guys didn't hear, there was another beta test for Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Strikers. I believe it lasted from the 18th to the 21st. So, unfortunately, by the time you're watching this video, the beta has already passed. But we did get a release date, and I believe the release date was released a couple of weeks ago. It's going to be coming out August 30th, so only a month before we actually get our hands on the full version of the game. So, kind of looking forward to that, and I'll give my thoughts about that here in a little bit. But in terms of the beta, this is the second beta that's come out. There was a closed beta that was about, I believe, back in January, February, maybe even March. And if you want to see my impressions on the first beta that came out, the first closed beta, I'll definitely link that down below. It's rough. It's definitely rough to say the least. But the second beta was a lot more better in some technical aspects. First off, the overall netcode to connecting to games was a lot better than the first beta. I know the first beta when I played, it took me, roughly 15-20 minutes to get into one match that lasted maybe 2 minutes sometimes, and then I was in a queue for another 15-20 minutes, and even then the game would, crash, or the netcode would just collapse itself, and then we all get kicked out to the lobby again, and then sometimes you couldn't even get into the queue, which was really bad. They seem to have alleviated this issue with beta 2. When I got into queues, I was able to get into actual games. The longest queue time I think I had was maybe under a minute, which is actually really surprising because of the first beta. Again, very long queue time. So, and that was both for quick matches and for the league rank that they unlocked during the weekend. So, definitely good to see improvement on that department. They seem to be taking feedback in terms of the technical aspect really well. So that's good to see an improvement in terms of the queue time and overall connection to matches. Now, once you actually get into game and actually start fighting, there's still the issue of the hit confirmations or the hit confirms for characters using physical attacks. It's still not great, and I don't know if this is just how the game's going to be. Maybe it's because of the 4v4 aspect and everyone's kind of going off each other's connection, but fighting with physical attacks does not feel great. Like, there are instances where you can actually do some hand-to-hand combat, but it's very, very few and far between. Most of the time, people are just going to be using the jutsu, such as the Fireball Jutsu, or Sengon, Phoenix Flower Jutsu, the Spike Boulder, so on and so forth. So you're going to see a lot of jutsus being used more often than people fighting with physical attacks, and that's because the physical fighting is just not that great. And I don't know if it's just because this is a beta still, or if this is how the game's going to be. I have a feeling that this is how the game's going to kind of evolve into, where you won't see a lot of characters using physical attacks. Instead, you're going to have a lot of people using ranged attacks and stuff like that to kind of supplement the overall lack of physical fighting in the game. So that actually really does concern me, because I do want to build a physical fighter in this game, but if there's no point in doing that if physical fighting is not that great. Like, taijutsu is just not an option here in terms of the beta so far. So we'll have to see how that looks in terms of the full game. Another thing I didn't like what they changed in the beta, and I'm sure that's not going to be in the full game, is they didn't allow you to customize your character or to customize the jutsus that your character can have, which was weird because they had that option in the first beta where you can have some pre-select costumes and stuff like that, and some jutsus that really open up your character a little bit. But they seem to opt to take that out just to give you these presets for the healer, defender, ranged, and attacker. And they also had the same characters from the last beta, Kakashi, Sakura, Naruto, Sasuke, and they even added Yamato as a defender, because I don't think there was missing a defender in the first beta. So they only had like presets per se, and the presets aren't really that bad except for the attacker. I think it's called the Rising Leaf or something like that. It's just a really, really terrible physical move. It doesn't do that much damage. Its tracking is really bad, and it just doesn't really do much in terms of like comboing or doing damage to other people. So that's one of the things I didn't like about this, is the lack of customization and character creation that the game kind of holds to. So we'll see how that goes in the full version. Again, I'm sure there's just a beta thing to where they can focus more on the netcode, and if that's the case, I'm more than happy to take that sacrifice for a beta. In terms of the actual stability of matches, there was still some lag, but it wasn't as bad as it was during the first beta. There was definitely a lot of improvement in terms of overall connection, in terms of getting to a game and staying into a game. So that's actually really good. A lot of technical improvements seem to went into this beta, which is great. It's good to see progress like that, and it's actually really changing my opinion on the game in terms of a technical aspect. I think if they keep making improvements on the overall netcode and stuff like that, I can definitely start recommending the game a lot more than I have in the past. So that's good to see. Will I still buy the game day one? It all depends, honestly. I am a content creator, I am a YouTuber, so it would benefit me in terms of me buying the game day one, playing and streaming it for you guys. but as a casual consumer, it's hard to say. But I definitely did enjoy my time with the beta. It was a lot better than I expected. Overall, I would say this is something that would convince your more casual fans to actually maybe pick up the game and stuff like that. And actually did help out, you know, kind of highlight some issues of the game. One thing I want to note is that if you play on ranked matches, and it's kind of unrelated to the beta, be careful of people using ranged attacks, because you will run into people, and I'm sure this is going to happen when the game comes out. You're going to have 4-man ranged attack people that spam fireball jutsus and the Phoenix Flower jutsu. Just be careful of that. It actually did happen in one of the matches that I think I have recorded. But anyway, that's kind of unrelated to that. Overall, the beta was good. It wasn't great. There's still some improvements to be made before the month's end, but I think with what they have going right now is a lot more successful and a lot more of a successful build than what they, you know, initially showed off to the public, which gave a really bad first impression. So hopefully this alleviates some of that. Regardless, I'm on the fence of still picking up the game, but I'm more leaning towards a positive aspect of it. So we'll see what happens when the full game comes out. If you guys enjoyed this type of video, if you want to see more coverage of, you know, Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Strikers, if you want to see more anime-based games such as Xenoverse, I'm looking into the Black Clover game that was actually announced, and I think there was a closed beta for that as well. Looking into that. So if you want to see more anime-based stuff, let me know in the comments down below. I'm definitely looking to expand on the other videos, and so if you guys enjoy that, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, you know, hit the bell notification icon so you guys can stay up to date when I do post videos. And if you want to help even further, please consider supporting my Patreon. $1 a month actually goes a long way, and actually does help out pump videos. In exchange for that, you get not exclusive access, but you get early access to videos that I post up, such as the Uchiha Clan mod videos. Videos like this will go up on Patreon about a day or two earlier than they would on YouTube. So if you want to see the stuff earlier, then consider supporting me on Patreon. Take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.